So Islam defends his belt against Gary. It was a tough fight for him, but he seems ready for the next challenge. Islam made it clear that he wants to be an active champion and wants to get back to work. He wants to continue this streak and get it to the point where it's nearly unbreakable. And he already has a name in mind, and it's Carlos Prates. However, I've been hearing lots of talks about number one contender fights, interim fights. The most common one is Prates versus Morales. I've seen a Gary versus Prates rematch for the number one contender fight. The welterweight division is pretty chaotic right now. I personally think Prates did enough. Prates is coming off of 3 wins. 2 of them are finishes over former world champions and is very deserving of a title shot. I think it's a no-brainer that Prates is next. And Prates is even a scarier matchup for Islam than Gary was. One of the issues that Gary had during his fight during Islam was sort of self-inflicted. And it's that he was really gun shy. I really think he didn't let his hands go. And he didn't capitalize on the opportunities he created during the fight. And that led him to lose 4 of the 5 rounds. Or 3 of the 5 rounds, depending on who you ask. I don't think Prates will have that issue. I don't think Prates will give Islam the same respect that Ian did. Prates is a knockout artist. And I am terrified for Islam Makhachev. Islam stated that he's looking to fight again in December, January. He is looking to fight before the Ramadan holiday, and, he would not be training during Ramadan. But given Islam's fight history, I really don't think it's likely he makes these dates. But if he does, Prates is absolutely up next. I can't think of anyone else who is more deserving of a title shot at this point, at least. However, with how quickly the UFC moves and how interesting this division is, that could change very quickly. If Islam is not able to fight before Ramadan, it's looking like the earliest he would be able to fight is spring of next year. A lot could change from now and then. And when the UFC starts looking for an opponent for Islam, Prates might not be the obvious choice like he is right now. So many things could happen in the welterweight division. If Ian has a quick turnaround and puts on like a stellar performance, he is right back in the title conversation because he made Islam look beatable. I don't want to take anything away from Islam, but it's undeniable that Gary's lack of activity helped Islam in that fight. But as an example, let's say Ian gets a fight booked for later this year. It could be any of the former world champions, them being JDM, Edwards, Usman. It could be another contender. It could be Morales. A win over these puts him in a title discussion, especially Morales. The stocks of the former world champions are like in the toilet right now. So he would have to get a first round KO over them if he even wants a chance to pass Prates. But speaking of Michael Morales, if I'm him, I definitely don't feel like my next fight is for the title or even the fight after that, because of Prates and Gary. If I'm Prates, I might feel a little uneasy, especially if he doesn't make the December and January cards. I'm not even going to mention the other contenders. Shavkat could come back. Medic's stock is really hot right now. Amosov is probably the most dangerous one right now. So much could change from now to when Islam is looking for his next fight. So if Prates wants to somewhat secure his spot, and I'm using the word secure very loosely, nothing is secure in the UFC. If he is unable to get the December and January fights, an interim belt might be of interest of him. And I say might. The reason I say might is because let's say he has the interim fight against Morales, because that's the matchup that people are making. Prates versus Morales for a number one contender spot, ideally for the interim belt. This match benefits Morales the most, by far, because like I said, he has the weakest argument of being next for the title, and I think will get passed up by Gary if Gary does have a good performance in his next fight. Prates doesn't benefit from this like Morales does. Morales is a really dangerous fight. They're both dangerous to each other, but if Prates wants to be next for the belt and wants to make sure that he's not passed by Gary, I think he should do this. Now, if he just wants to sit out and just wait it out, Islam comes back spring, the welterweight division has changed, he might get passed up. I think the hype for Prates will still be there, that Prates would just get the next title shot. Prates' social media is really hot right now. He's the fan favorite. So I don't see him getting passed up more than once. And it's probably only going to be from Gary. But to wrap everything up, the only person who should be really asking for an interim fight is Morales. What Gary does next, though, is going to make the welterweight division really interesting. Okay, that's pretty much it. This video was kind of a mess, but let me know what you guys think. Okay, peace.